Mm.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Swastika. How are you? I'm seeing your designs are doing very good.
I'm good. I'm
Um,
good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Uh, so just give us a brief introduction about yourself.
So it feels like a very first round wala when a group interviews for the first round. I am Siddharth. I uh, I'm Siddharth. I've currently an alumni. I wish I was not. Yeah. So I was in college from 2014 to 2019. So yeah, I'm an alumni now. Although I wish I was not. And I was in this branch called as Integrated MSc Physics, which is a 5-year course. And yeah, college obviously is a very like happening and beautiful time for all of us. I am pretty sure most alumni miss it. Um, so do I. And yeah, college was fun because it was very good for me in a way that it made me realize what I wanted to do, which is somehow to become a chef. And yeah, I'm just very happy with whatever happened in college.
We are missing college too. Like I didn't thought I'll say this so soon that I want to go back to college and I'm missing college, but I'm
Yeah.
missing a lot. Yeah. So you're in Hyderabad right now. So what are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm in Hyderabad now. It's been yeah, almost a year. I came here because I wanted to obviously do something about my career as a chef. So like uh, right now I am working at a cafe. It's called Cafe Rasaswada, which is somewhere in Hyderabad. It's located by a beautiful lake, and it's a new cafe. It started just like 2 months back. Yeah, so on paper, I'm the head chef of this cafe, which means that I get to uh, be creative and make my own menu and food, which is very good. But although like I don't like calling myself a chef because I think like there's a lot of work and like time after which you should give yourself that title. So like I don't like going by that. And yeah, so that's been the story. It's been quite an interesting year because when I came to Hyderabad, I thought I would be joining a culinary school here, which is called as Culinary Academy of India, which is one of India's most famous and oldest culinary schools. But when I started to research about these institutes, I realized that there there's a lot of lacking in culinary schools in India. There's been no updation in their curriculum since they've been started. For example, the school was started in 1996, and they've never changed their curriculum since 96. And it felt like it would be like probably it'll suck up your passion that you have, your creativity that you have. And I like few chefs just said that maybe it'll be good if you just try interning at cafes. Even if it doesn't pay you initially, you should try that, which is what I did. So since the start of this year 2020, the start of the year went in interning at random cafes. I would go work from the late morning afternoon shift till the evening for free. I wasn't paid for that, and I would come back and I would take some online classes in physics. That was my only source of income for that time. So this is what I was doing for around 2 months. And after that, I got an opportunity to run a food truck that was owned by someone else, but they gave me the complete freedom to cook whatever I want and like be creative with the menu, which is what I wanted at that time. And it was very close to home, which was good. So I would just walk there every day. Obviously, the lockdown happened, and I was very scared when the food truck reopened because it was just, I think it was the first month of May or something. Yeah, it was the first week of May where the unlocking 1.0 happened. So I would gear up, go every day, and try not to get in physical contact with anyone. But yeah, somehow now it's been 4 months since I've been going out every day, and it's been a thrilling experience somehow. That like, been very lucky to evade the virus, and at the same time, it's been a fantastic time to cook somehow, because like a lot of
I
people
guess your
want
food has the
food and they're
vaccine,
stuck.
maybe.
Yeah. So yeah. So for 3 months, I was in that truck, and just a month back, I got this great opportunity to be the head chef here, and that's what's been happening since the last week. So last month, since the last month. Yeah. So 2020 has been very good for me. I'm sorry, everyone that did not want to hear that. It has been.
Really good to know that it was a good year for someone, at least someone like that.
Yeah.
So, so was it always decided that you wanted to become a chef, that you wanted to get into the field
Oh.
of cooking?
Yeah. So I always liked cooking. I mean, during school days, I think this was like around seventh standard. My both my parents work. They have a like full day job, so they were very busy to basically make a meal for my school, like my lunch box and my snack box and whatnot. So I started to cook for myself, because I was like someone who used to eat a lot. Like I was very fat that time, still am. And they basically they were fine with it, because they're like, okay, Siddharth is making a sandwich for himself, good. Like how far could that go? So I would cook, and I found a liking for it, mostly because most of my classmates and even my teacher, who used to sometimes taste my food, they would like appreciate it, or at least that's what they told me. And I felt a very good positive feedback, which I never felt for anything before. Like I mean, I didn't never got a positive feedback before that for anything. And I was like this very introverted kid in school. Like I was the person who would sit on the last bench that no one knew about, and suddenly people are, oh, like, so that sandwich is nice. So that was a nice feeling, that yeah, okay, I'm getting some fucks in life because of my sandwich. So yeah, that was the first instance where I was like, yeah, I like cooking. And I remember very clearly in 11th and 12th, where we were studying for JE. We had these last few months before the exam where we were at home giving mock exams on our own. So to just I would get so stressed, I would go to the kitchen now and then and just cook something, and I would end up spending more time than I should in the kitchen. And it was basically the happiest memories that I can recall, just being in the kitchen. Like if it's cooking on my own, or with my mom, or with my grandmom, it's just that the happiest memories that I remember were mostly in the kitchen. So I knew somewhere back of my mind that I am going to either start a cafe sometime, maybe go to college, which I eventually did. Like when I was in first year of Roorkee, I imagined that I would get a job like everyone else did, in a software company or so on, and work till I'm 30 or 40 and start a cafe after that. So that was the plan in my first year. I never imagined that I would actually become so inclined towards becoming a chef just after college or over. So what happened in college is pretty much, I think, which is happening to a lot of students right now. I did not know what I wanted to do. I tried a lot of things here and there, my core software, whatnot, and I did not like anything. I did not feel I was a part of or liked any of it. And I knew that I had to cook. Because again, it was the happiest memory that I had. So I was like, why is there no cooking facility in campus? Why is this not a thing in any college of India? And suddenly I met this friend in my the end of my third year, who told me that there are student run cafes outside. It's like a thing in colleges in US and in Singapore and whatnot. And you why don't you start this? And that's what happened. For the fourth and fifth year of my college, most of my time went in starting culinary club. We had a lot of ideas, for that, but mostly it was a cafe. And luckily, before I left, uh, I was able to start this cafe with we had an amazing team who were mostly in fourth and third year at that time. And yeah, we started this cafe, and it's, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know about it now more than me, because I've not been affiliated with it for a year. Yeah, so because of those 2 years of culinary club and whatever experiences I had, I was so dead sure that this is what I have to do. I cannot stand anything else. And yeah, after college got over, I knew I had to do something about it. um, I came to Hyderabad mostly because Hyderabad, compared to other cities, compared to other metropolitans, is a very unsaturated market when it comes to food. Like Bombay is so saturated. You have every variety, and it's very good, and there are very good chefs there. Same with Delhi, same with Bangalore. I don't really like Chennai, so I'm not going to go there. But Hyderabad was this one market where um, it has such a rich history of food, the city, and still it's so unsaturated. So it was like the perfect place to start something, because if you want to make a name as a chef, and if you want a cafe to grow or your place to grow, this is probably that city right now before it gets saturated in some years. So yeah, I knew I had to come here. I knew I had to, and plus that culinary school was also in Hyderabad. So there were two reasons why I came here. And yeah, now I'm over here. This cafe.
So you also had a plan to open a cafe in Pondicherry, right? So
Yes. Yeah.
that's great.
That. So Pondicherry is basically my. It's actually the place where I was born. It's my native place. And it's obviously the place. I spent my first 6 years in Pondicherry before my family shifted elsewhere. So my fondest memories, obviously, and my first memories were in Pondicherry, and the food over there is just amazing. I'm very influenced by what my grandmother cooks, and uh, her cooking is also very similar to what is in Japan. So my current plan is to like work for some years over here in Hyderabad and go to Japan if some good chef agrees to let me work with him. And I want to learn all their techniques, because they have a rich rich heritage and in-depth knowledge of food, which most cultures don't. And hopefully use those techniques with like integrate that with my grandmom's kind of cooking and start something of my own in Pondicherry. So that's like the current plan for now. In the end, I have a lot of so a lot of chefs want to go abroad and set up something in France or USA or something. I understand that, because it's very easy to get a name over there because they appreciate art. But I want to stay back in India because I want India to start appreciating the art more. Firstly, a lot of Indians don't take cooking to be an art form. And our food culture is so rich and so vast. It's probably the best in the world, and we still, like, people still call France as the culinary king of the world, which is fine, but I think India deserves more than that. So I think there are already a lot of chefs who are doing something about it in India, who are very good, and I also want to be one of those chefs who's able to rethink of what Indian cuisine could be, and is doing things which is not thought about for
Right.
Indian cuisine, and it makes no sense to do that outside India. So I do want to do that in India eventually.
Uh, I also read it in your article that you wrote about saving our grandmothers and our family's traditional recipes, and I really loved that topic. I mean, I never thought about it, and I'm also
Yeah,
thinking of asking my grandparents of the recipes, and it's really great that you thought on.
yeah. The Actually, the first time when this idea was spoken about was actually, my friend was saying that how the only cultural identity that's left with people's families is actually the food, because you there's nothing else that is actually passed on anymore. Like maybe yes, some ornamental values or some things like that is passed on, but the real identity that's left at the end of every generation is probably their food. But this is the first time where I think in our generation that might die out the because of all the influence that's there, from Western for food and whatnot, which is not a bad thing. It's good that we've had such a mix now in India. But the fact that so much of our knowledge and history in food is dying out with us, that was the main idea why I thought, maybe if through culinary club we can encourage students to ask their grandparents about, because they've all obviously had their grandmother's food, and for 95% of the people, they will always be nostalgic about that. Like even if they have anything else, they're always going to be nostalgic about their grandmother's food. So why not try to like just preserve it, like just know what they're doing. Like yeah, my nani makes this amazing bhindi ka sabzi, but what goes in that? Why is it so amazing? So like for example, my grandmother's cuisine is very very unique. I've never seen that in other families, because she preserves her spices. She sun dries a lot of spices for a week, because Pondicherry is so hot. You can dry them easily, and then she makes a paste, or you can call that a paste out of it, which she uses for every curry and fish fry and whatnot. And it just it's like an Indian umami for taste. Like you just got all these flavors that are like just like kicking inside your mouth, which is, I mean, in a good way. So and obviously, like even in Hyderabad, when I came here, I've been to some of my friends' grandmother's house who have these traditional preparation of millets with these herbs and leaves I've never heard about in my life. Like for example, I was shocked that there is this leaf from the spinach family called as gongura, which is very common here. Like gongura mutton gravy, gongura biryani pulao. It's so common here, but I've not seen that anywhere else in India, because I think somehow we've all heard of biryani, and we've heard so much about biryani, but we've never heard about these things, and it's so common here. And so the ones you get in the hotels is like this, and then you go to someone's house and the grandma makes something, and it's not even like a preparation you'd have thought of. It's so simple. It's got ingredients that are you would not have thought that would go well with these things, but it's so good. So there's so much history and heritage that if we don't start caring about it, it'll be lost. And for food enthusiasts like me, obviously I would feel very sad. But more so, I think that's that one thing that is a good memory for every child of their, like, that they have of their grandmother, which is their food. So I think it should be a thing where you just preserve it, where you remember how it's done and whatnot. So yeah, so like the
Well,
main idea was basically that, yeah, so basically with I was hoping that culinary club would make students write down their recipes, and it could become a journal or a magazine or whatnot, and the future students to come would read this, and they would automatically be encouraged to ask their grandparents about their cuisine. So it would become a cycle like that.
yes, and that's important. Like we should start doing it. It's yeah. So and so so like coming on to your college days again, like shifting from physics to the field of cooking is like a big step. I mean, and a lot of factors come into action. Like um there's a factor where, I mean, you'll have to convince your parents, and there is peer pressure. And like, so how was that time and how did you manage? Was it all?
Um, yeah. So yeah, that's a very good and tough question put together. So so like firstly, I know that a lot of people, including me, are very like the whole placement process, even though it's very grueling and everything, it is kind of attractive because it's a very easy way to get a job and you are getting like a comfortable income for a while. So it is attractive, and the fact that in my fifth year almost everyone I know was sitting in placements and trying to get a job and whatnot, and they got one. It was like a very kind of like an attractive thing. Yeah, okay, I should have, I should. But the thing is that I knew that if I would get a job, I would probably at some point get comfortable in the job and be fine with the money that's coming, be happy that I can buy things and whatnot. So I had that idea always at the back of my mind that if I get too comfortable, I will not do anything to become a chef. So the one good thing about IIT is that it gives you a very good tag. Obviously, it gives you a very good backup. So if you want to try something else and you fail at it for whatever reason, you know that you can always get a decent job that is not. I mean, you're not going to end up at the street at the at the end of the day. You're not going to be without a job if you fail at your other field that you want to try. So that's one good thing about college. And regarding the peer pressure thing, yeah, so like luckily we had like a very different branch from other branches, because firstly we were like 12 students, and because we had like known each other for 5 years, we knew each other like very very well. Secondly, it was very somehow it was very fortunate that all of us were trying to do something that we really wanted to do. My one of my branch mates, his name is Neil. He wanted to always do music, and he is right now at a True School of Music in Bombay, doing his bachelor's in music. The point is that our branch was like, because it was so small and we knew each other so well, and we were luckily very passionate about the things we really wanted to do. It was very easy to stay in that bubble that we are there for each other, and we will like encourage each other to do what we wanted. So even when there were times where I was like, should I just sit for placement, should I just get a job, my friends always try to show the bigger picture, that this is what could happen and this is not what you want to do. So so that was a good thing, having them around. Plus, like I told you, culinary club, the fact that I was able to start it and everything gave me that very big boost that I needed. The last thing was the parents thing, which I have still not fixed, to be honest. My parents, um, they've known for 3 years now that I wanted to cook, but have never like got a grip uh, around that. And so I think, I mean, for most people who, I'm just like trying to tell this to the people who are trying to do something else and their parents are not agreeing. The thing is that we all have a way with our parents, and I think my way with my parents is probably, I've not figured the correct way yet to try and make them accept it. But also the thing that I'm doing is also very different from their thought process, so it will take time for them to accept that. So in the end, what I keep telling myself is that I have to stick to the process of trying to become better, and eventually hopefully they will understand sometime. So um the one more thing is that like our parents are very quick at trying to say that this is your alumni, this is what they're doing, they're in this job, you should do the same. So I don't have any alumni where I can show as an example that he's a chef right now. She's a chef right now. So hopefully it's like, in a way, what I'm trying to say is that maybe if we do good, like the new g- generation of alumni who are going into arts, if they are doing good, maybe the next generation of college students who want to do something else, they have someone to showcase to their parents that look, they wanted to do that, they're doing that, they're doing good. So I think it's all a matter of time, and this is like a slow, kind of like an evolutionary process of things happening right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know personally any engineer or student from IIT who is a chef. So hopefully, if someone else wants to become one in the coming years, and I'm doing good, hopefully I'll hope that they can convince their parents more easily than for me. So yeah, that.
Yeah, it's yeah. Hopefully, it will get easier. Uh, as the days pass by, people will be able to convince their parents easily. Yeah, I thought there was some trick
Yeah.
or something. I
No.
need
No, that's no trick. I mean, if you're very if you're the kind of person who can get the fake tears and like convince your parents to do that. Because I can't. Whenever I've spoken to them about it, I've always said it in a very like a logical, stern voice, which they've not been able to grip. So I'm not able to get that emotional. No, maybe I should, but I'm not able to. So. Uh, Maybe you guys can try that out. Let me know if it works.
yeah. Um, okay, so do you feel, yeah, I mean, does it bother you now
Yeah.
also? Does it bother
mm,
you now, all these
the
things?
I mean, yeah, all these things. So the thing is that for me, because I've wanted to do this for such a long time, and I'm finally doing it. For now, it's not bothering me because like right now, I'm just so happy that I'm able to finally do this. I mean, obviously, I'll agree with the fact that whenever my parents and I talk and we talk about this, it obviously will bother that, like just for example, they keep WhatsApping me if there's any job offer or any ad of CAT, the CAT exam thing that happens in November for MBA. They just like send me a picture that if you please enroll yourself and whatnot and all. But yeah, I mean, it's again, you have to think about the bigger picture, and at the end of the day, they are your parents. They want you to do good. It's just that for now, their do good thought is skewed towards what society thinks, which is a good paying corporate job. So it's just a matter of time where even their thought will hopefully kind of match ours, hopefully, maybe with time. And if they also start meeting other people who have a similar story where they were doing XYZ field and they went into arts, it'll always help. So it's just a matter of time, I think, for these things to get better.
Um, so tell us your best memories of college. I would like, I know there must be something you like all of the 5 years. Uh, any
uh,
best memories or funny memories?
mhm. I mean, it's been such a long time, and I think, I mean, if you ask most seniors, they would definitely remember their first year because it was such a different time coming from coaching institute and suddenly in this environment which is so different. So I mean, I remember a lot about my first year, like very few funny instances where like me and the people in the same block have gotten like shit faced drunk and doing random things on the slope of the library or in LBS ground and whatnot. And like, of course, there were yearly trips. Like obviously in GG, there were trips every year, which is something which everyone looks forward to. And with that comes Mafia, which is also something we all look forward to. Most of my memories, however, that I can remember now are just to do with fifth year, because that was the most memorable year for me, because of culinary club. So most of my happy memories that I remember, right, that I can like remember on the spot right now in this podcast, is for that. Like every group has a chapo, and every group's chapo is kind of different. You either do this or that, you go here or that. So we were a very small group when because it was the first year of our group, and our cafe was big enough to incorporate all of us. So I remember there were some chapos where people are getting gaddas, they're just getting beds in, they're laying it on the floor of the cafe. And we like somehow everyone used to drink. I was like surprised that even our first years were like, yeah, full on like into it. So I was in charge of the cocktails. Oh yeah, I can actually share a recipe here. So for people who wanted to know what, uh, a lot of people I remember came during the convocation. A lot of people came to drink this one drink that I made. So yeah, I can just like blurt that recipe out.
Please tell us.
that's
Yeah.
that's
So,
that's basically a mix of white rum, white wine, cranberry juice, grape grape juice, cinnamon powder, mint, a little sugar, and salt. That was the drink, with some water to dilute it as much as required. So yeah, so like these drinks, people would drink it like juice. And I mean, there were so many funny instances. There's just so much dancing that happened inside the cafe. There was so much crying that happened inside the cafe, because obviously after a time people get senti about things. And it was just a lot of fun. And there were such different people, because like this was that one group where we had bachelor's students and master's students and a few PhD students. And it was so like it was a lot of fun that so many people have come together, and such different personalities, all of them very very interesting, and like having a gala of a time. So I fondly remember all of those. I remember during convocation, um the same similar party happened inside the cafe, and I sadly passed out very quickly. And when I woke up, there was a bucket on fire. There was literally a bucket that was in flames. And I asked the people who were there. There were a few second year students, like, why is this on fire? Like, aren't you all what's happening? And they were like, we wanted to go camping, we wanted to go to Rishikesh, we wanted a bonfire, so we just did this. And I mean, there's nothing to say to that. You just poured all the leftover alcohol inside a bucket and set on fire. Cool, yeah, works. So like all these things to do with culinary club are obviously, yeah, because like I said, like I was a person who was very lost for the first 3 years of my college. But I think because of the club, I felt very very happy by the time I left out of college. So obviously my happiest memories are those. um, and I think as you also go along with this alumni podcast, you'll see that everyone's happiest memories were only when they were not sober.
so, and any tips for juniors, for your juniors? Any tips?
Huh. um, yeah. So hold. So I mean, most students are going to get a lot of tips from their alumni, because alumni love doing that. My only thing is that, like, there are, like, I think like three kinds of people in campus. If you just try to really like categorize it, it's just like three. One who find comfort and some kind of like I won't say happiness, but some kind of intent to do what is their core branch, or whatever the placements come for, which is coding. And they are happy with that. So Like either they ended up in a group like SDS or IMG or PAG, liked it and knew that they wanted to get into a good paying job, or just code. So that is a good process in a way. It's because it's very easy, because you are in a college that is known for that, and you're going to get a job that is for that, and you found your comfort and like a positive intent over the good for you. That's an easier way. A second kind of people are the ones who are kind of lost, but they know a little bit about what they want to do. For example, that was me. So I knew I wanted to cook, but there's nothing for that. So what I want to say about that is, I feel a lot of people in college ended up just cribbing that, oh, I wish this was there, I wish this was there, but they did not do anything about that. And I was also one of them. I used to crib a lot that I want to cook, but I can't cook. So it's just up to you if you want to do that or not. Because if I could start a cafe out of nowhere, which was not even like thought of at all in any college here, and I could do that by the time I left, I'm pretty sure you could also do something about what you like. And by the time you leave college, you can have some substantial idea about what you want to do with that uh, passion or liking that you have for that field. And the last kind of people are the ones who are completely lost. They don't know what they want to do. They don't even like anything, or they like everything but in moderation in some levels. So for them, if by the end of the fourth year, by the end of third year, if they still don't know what they want to do, sit for placements, get a job, and don't get too comfortable with the job. Continuously try to figure out what you really want. It's just a matter. It's just a process in the end. You try something, you liked it, give it enough time. Don't run out of patience, but figure out what you don't want first. Eliminate it, and then you'll eventually have this sample space which you like, and hopefully you can narrow it down to something. But don't wait too long, because like I mean, this is something which makes sense, right? You don't want to wait till you're 30 and suddenly figure out this is what I want to do, because then it's too late. Because I mean, we say it's never too late, but depending on your family, if they have health issues or whatnot, it could get too late. So that's the thing. So I mean, if you fall in the first category of people, your life is just good, like just, you know. But if you're like one of us, one of me, I mean, it's a bit tough, but you'll get there. You'll get there eventually.
It was a great advice. Like all of us are lost, especially like second and third year students are lost, and especially in this pandemic, it's getting really
Yeah.
difficult for us. And
I think most
uh,
people are worried also about the job scenario now. Yeah.
yeah, they are like everybody is working really hard. Uh, so it's like these advices work a lot for us to know that we'll be okay someday. Everything will be all right. So yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
So another quick 5 minutes cooking tip you want to give us?
So a lot of people were telling me if there was an easier way to make chapatis and rotis, because I think a lot of my friends are lazy about kneading the dough, or they just find it very time consuming, or probably they're not getting it right. So one thing is that the way people make pancakes, they just use an egg with some flour and milk and so on. You can use the same technique for making something that is very similar to a roti and goes very well with dal and sabzi, which is just, um, for example, if you want to make a roti, just take an egg, a little water, some salt, some spices of your choice. Like a lot of people like ajwain for their rotis, and you can go with around 3/4 cups of flour. Mix it, you get like a thick batter, and you can put that batter on a pan with some oil or butter, just like you would do for a pancake, and that could be used for having it with your dal or sabzi. And instead of atta, you can try out different things. You can try out oats ground oats with peanuts, ground millets, ground jowar, any grain of sorts, and you can try out different kind of pseudo rotis and to have with your dal and sabzi. But this is like very easy. It takes like under 5 minutes. I remember my flatmate was just amazed with this. He's like, "Shit, like this is so easy. Let's just why do we waste so much time making rotis?" I mean, our parents won't like it because but
Oh, yeah.
we are jugaad people. We don't mind all this. So yeah,
It will be useful for us once we move, uh, once we start living alone, and we'll have to cook on ourselves.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it was great talking to you. Thank you for the tip and thank you for the advice too. It was a great podcast to have you on our podcast. So thank you.
Please follow Swastika on Instagram. Her artwork is very good. She won't admit it, but it is.
uh, Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.